All right, extension ideas. If you have time and you'd like to make your game a little bit better, here are some ideas. The first one is I've just gotten rid of the game over at the end because, to be honest, that's kind of a little bit lame. We probably want, and I'll write a comment for this first, is to declare the winner. How would we do that? Well, we have player health and we have enemy health. And the way we've set the game up, we know it stops when someone gets to 0. So I could just simply say if player health is bigger than enemy health, then I could say print you win. Okay. Else, the other part of that is print you lose. So that's quite simple. Hopefully that works. If I test that quickly, use a gun. Ooh, you win. There we go. Works perfectly. A second thing which you might want to do is you'll notice here it says Scary Dude's health is -3. If you go back into the, let's say, the player attack function, for example, we're going back into the black box. You might have a little thing here that says damage. Sorry, enemy health minus equals damage. But you could actually say if the health is now less than 0, make it 0. So I could say if enemy health is less than 0, then just set enemy health to 0. And hopefully that should avoid that problem. So up to you, you might decide to do that. Another thing that you can do is you can actually draw the monster on the screen, and this is kind of cool. So if I say print, and then I put a 3 quotation marks like that, anything that I write in the middle of here gets printed to the screen. So I could actually have a bit of a picture here, do some eyes. Oops. Go ahead like that. We do some legs. And this is the way that people used to do sort of graphics in text-based games back in the olden days of computers, 30 or 40 years ago, maybe 50 years ago or so. They could do something like this. And now if I hit print, you'll see it's printed a little picture of the monster there. I could actually save this as a monster pick. So I could say monster pick like this equals, and I could actually save that in a variable. It's a string, and then I could say print monster pick. But considering these pictures are probably going to be quite large, my absolute personal favorite would be we could actually define a function called draw monster. So if we said define draw monster, don't forget those little parentheses to show it's a function. Okay. And then inside of that, all the function would do is it would print that to the screen, and then you could call that function at any time. So let's say draw monster, Hopefully this works. Hey, it worked. But the really cool thing about this is if this was some massive picture and this monster had, incredibly large legs. Oops. Hopefully ones that were actually attached to the ground in some way. Okay, so that's just taking up way too much space. If you made draw monster a function like this, then you could code fold it, and then I've got my monster here. I might not want to draw it at the start. I might want to draw it, down here in enemy attack. I might just get it to. Oops, I don't want legs in there. I might get it to call draw monster in the middle of there. Yes, you can call functions from within other functions. Let's see if that works. What attack shall I use? Fredosaur uses blah. It inflicts 11 damage. Oh my goodness! And it drew the monster for me. So that's another option, is to actually have pictures. You could even go one step further. You could draw another monster picture that's a little bit over to the right. Everything's a space over to the right, and you could sort of flip back and forth depending on whether it's jumping around and all sorts of things. Another thing you could do for extension is you could go and look at Pokemon games on YouTube, or Final Fantasy games on YouTube, and see what other things they had, like maybe different attacks inflict different damage, maybe some are more accurate than others, maybe they miss sometimes, they're all those sorts of things. I really look forward to playing your game, and I will see you in the next project.